Hello, everyone, and welcome to Got Thrones, our hot takes. Not a live stream, but hopefully will be a live stream one of these weeks. We've just watched the series premiere of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, the newest Game of Thrones series in the franchise on HBO, and has launched, like 15 years after the original series? Yeah.
When the short story was written, about 15 years before the original series?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's
Something along those
pre-Clash of
lines.
Kings, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm Johnny Kolosinski. I am the co-host of Got Thrones, a Game of Thrones podcast, and with me, as
Nice.
ever, is Alexandra August.
Like, so yeah, what are your immediate thoughts? Like, we're literally fresh out of the oven of the experience of watching this. Did you leave like feeling, aha, or like, ugh? Like, what do you think?
I left satisfied. We are not, as I said in our 45-second pre-show conversation, we're not where I thought we would be in the story at the end of the first episode, and I like what they added. Everything with Lionel Baratheon was phenomenal. Great performance by Taika Waititi, even though that wasn't Taika Waititi.
It's
It
Daniel Ings,
was,
who is great, but
yeah,
yeah.
it was not what I expected. I think the only texts, other than really enjoying the whistling in the theme that we shared, was that I feel like Lionel deserves a podcast,
Like,
and one that
he
I
already
probably
has.
wouldn't listen to.
Oh man. Yeah, no, he would be on Kill Tony this weekend, I feel like. But I don't
Absolutely.
know.
Yeah.
He would, but like, I don't
He'd
know,
be a
maybe he'd
bright
be like
spot
the
in the
rock.
Austin comedy scene. Let's clarify
I,
here for ourselves. Is this spoilers all or just the episode?
let's do spoilers for the episode.
Okay. Okay. Then
Um,
I will just say that we were not where I thought we were going to be. And in our deep dive that we're going to release later this week, I'm going to tell you my wife's thoughts, which were remarkably prescient for someone who's read none of the stories and doesn't listen to my podcasts.
God, Katie's middle name should be prescient. Ugh. Yeah, I would say similarly satisfied, kind of because I found I was kind of looking to see a little bit how this would be different, and I found in the way one of the ways that it was so deeply pleasing to me because it was just extended sort of nattering dialogue, chewy scenes between characters where, with Game of Thrones, it was such a and House of the Dragon, you really do have to lay a lot of the groundwork, and they're very narrative driven, and this is it's such a more lateral experience. I feel like I feel like there's a reason they put Lionel in the pilot because you want to hang out with him and
Yeah.
other things. Like, also the prostitutes, like, I like that they added the prostitutes, and that they, like, I'm really annoyed that neither of those women are credited in any of the cast information of this
Yeah,
episode,
that's
not on Wikipedia, not on, like, I was not angry enough to look at all the credits at the end of the show, but nowhere in any of the
uh,
publicity on IMDb or Wikipedia are they named, and I was annoyed by that because they were
it,
great.
it, to me, that makes me wonder if we're going to see more people that we might recognize the names of, and so HBO is actively not dropping
That's true.
dropping
That's
cast
true.
names, dropping character names because they don't want to be spoiled when we see, I don't know, Melisandre.
Easter
Yeah.
egg, but she just looked
I,
familiar to me, so maybe she's anyway.
I
They were
thought that
great.
it was a fun little Easter egg, just the fact that we got exposition from prostitutes without getting sexposition.
True, true. There was a surprising and I think a refreshing lack of genitalia in general.
Yeah.
Lots of talking
We
about
we
sex and lots of
mhm.
yeah.
we,
I
we
feel
got
like, yeah.
Dunk's butt.
Oh man, and we got stuff coming out of his butt, which, like, we can. I
Yeah.
don't.
I'm not gonna lie though, when I saw Sir Dunk stripping for the bathing in the river scene, I wondered whether or not we were gonna finally get confirmation as to whether or not he was related to Hodor.
That's a good point. They're holding out on us. Just gonna edge that needle. Yeah, I would say, like, in terms of adherence to the book, I thought they walked a really good line
Yes.
of being, like, pretty one for one, but then not in ways that added nuance. And, like, I really yeah, and just this I'm really excited for the people we get to meet because the guy in like and I'm excited for this the sense of humor the Westerosi have about themselves, like, the guy who was what's his name? The
Of the
master
games.
of the list. I
Of the
looked him up.
list,
He's
yeah,
an
of the
Irish.
list.
Yeah, I looked him up. He's an Irish actor, and just like how much fun he had with like this is the Reach, not the Riverlands. But you calm down, like it's
Yeah.
fine. And just also, and like people being, it's not such a cruel world. Like the guy takes a little bit of pity on Dunk and is like, okay, like do this. I can help you out with this. And then, Dunk is just like, what to the prostitutes? Like, why do you have to be so mean to me? Stop, stop. It's mean.
Yeah.
I just needed your help. And they were like, oh, you're right. Sorry. Like, I don't know. People are, again, kind of evidence of, I enjoyed that as being evidence of the stakes being a little different. Like, this isn't the
I
Game of Thrones where you win or you die. Like, people are just getting a sandwich.
yeah, you win or you lose.
Yeah.
I also didn't think about it till just now, but another throwback to the pilot of Game of Thrones was whatever the prostitutes were doing with their mocking out a funeral scene with the coins on the eyes or the rocks on the eyes. Going back to beginning of Game of Thrones and John Aaron lying in
Really
state.
funny. That was
Yeah.
okay. That's I mean, like the little riff of the theme music before, like Jug is like, "We're gonna have an adventure," and then he poops. Like I was like,
Bum bum bada
"All
bum
right,
bum bada.
all right, let's just set this." Like I was like, I don't know that that landed as well as it could have if somebody had waited like 15 more years to make this show. But I found that delightful, and I also found the dead prostitute delightful, and the fact that they simply did not explain it, and that it was
Yeah.
just like I don't know, maybe it was just someone's like sex party later, or they were like, no,
Yeah.
someone loves this gimmick. We know a necrophiliac who's coming, and so we're just Jocelyn is his girl.
I mean, I'm not here to kink shame, but sometimes I'll kink ask why.
Hey, okay, see, yeah, there we go. And I don't know, the prostitutes look healthy. They look like they're having fun. Like,
They do. They do. Maybe this is, proof of the good side of the Targaryen regime is the
yeah, like
prostitutes
where it
look
was,
much healthier.
yeah, they look much more comfortable, much more well cared for outside of Dorne. Maybe that was,
Yeah.
but also the lady I think who was the unhappiest was the innkeep lady who seemed to be doing very well to be somebody who was
Yeah.
just like, wow, entertainment's not going to pay for my eggs. And I joked that to myself. I was like, she saw the last season of Game of Thrones. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm excited to see more of this. Yeah.
I thought up
I
until
thought we
the
were going to meet more
shitting,
Targaryens.
absolutely. Not that we've necessarily met any yet, since this is not a spoilers all podcast. But I thought it was, oh, this is actually really heartfelt and, a little bit beautiful. And then the shitting.
Yeah. And then with it
Like,
felt kind of like Monty Python a little bit.
it did. I loved, and I'll probably, before we do our deep dive, I'll do another reread of these chapters to refresh. Because I know it happened, but I don't think to this extent. But I loved him using the horse as narration for that inner monologue. I liked that a lot. And I also loved that we got all of 8 seconds of flashback.
That was another like sort of editing format choice that made it so stylistically different
Hmm.
than Game of Thrones and Hot D, and so it was just another choice where it was like they worked really hard to differentiate themselves and are kind of ringing that bell a
Hmm.
little bit. And it just, yeah, it felt like it really did feel like a 70s 80s medieval comedy out of the UK a little bit, or at
Yeah.
least that's what those were the
Yeah.
comps that kind of sparked to my mind.
I really liked Ashford. I feel like it felt more lived in than early Winterfell. Honestly, than Winterfell at all.
Winterfell felt like a house. Like it didn't feel like a town.
Yes, and King's Landing, I think they did a really good job in Game of Thrones of establishing a feel for the locale. And I feel like that's really the only time they did that really, really well in Westeros is the location is a character in and of itself, or not the location, but the community is a character in and of itself, as opposed to we would go to the twins and we would see the phrase, but we would not
Yeah,
see anyone else. We go to the Riverlands, we no matter
that's
where we
right.
go, the small folk are not in Westeros.
You don't
I
stick.
think more in Essos.
Well, and like those are the people they kind of you get the sense too. It's like the story of Game of Thrones. The characters in Game of Thrones move a lot more. They have much more dynamic, change-filled lives because they have the power to do so, and they're playing that Game of Thrones. And then the Targaryens just have dragons. So you got to do fun stuff, but it the small folk live much more consistent and change less lives. Like their lives are outside of when powerful men kind of start wars and stuff, and their lives are disrupted. There's not movement in and out of those classes very much. So I just like the idea that this is all taking place in the same place, that it's a tournament, and we're going to kind of it feels like Coachella and like you're and so you know how you go to a music festival and you just kind of make buddies for like the week of various aspects of just and you get to know it really well and it's kind of like your home. And I don't know, that's just there's a VIP tent.
Yeah.
It's to like meet someone famous right away because everyone's friends at the festival, fucked up
This
and
more takes me
dancing.
back to Comic Con and Alexandra August sneaking me into the Nerdist house.
Oh, that's right, I did that. Sorry, Nerdist. I mean, you're welcome. We're awesome.
Yeah, I had a great time and wonderful conversations.
It's
And
comic only place I'd ever be confident enough to sneak behind a velvet rope
I've seen it happen a couple times, so I don't know about other places, but yes, you are confident enough.
to quit while I'm ahead.
Yeah. And I did not dance in the Nerdist house with Adam Savage.
Missed opportunities, but
Missed opportunity. But going back
that was
to the
like
VIP
some
tent.
I enjoyed like the Eastern European kind of like I've been for some reason reading a lot about the Russian Revolution lately, so I've just been like knee deep in Russian culture. Don't ask me why. But it that's I really enjoyed that they kind of gave that flavor a little bit to just the vibe in Lionel's tent. Like he does just and he feels very much like a man of that he kind of doesn't look out of place when you stand him next to Robert Baratheon or like anybody else in Game of Thrones. He's just kind of a good time comparatively. But to Dunk, I mean, he has so much power and he's so carefree and he has such a larger scale of vision. Like it's just kind of interesting to see people in all their different places.
He made me think of two people. Number one, Tyrion Lannister.
Same.
And I think that was a little intentional. I mean, right before we met him, we got Robin Fossaway calling Dunk half man.
The way that I got nostalgic for that for Half Man, I was just like,
Hmm.
what am I?
That put Tyrion in my brain immediately, and and I think there's a lot to compare there. And I think that we kind of see maybe the combination of that side of the Baratheon family and oh god, we have to send Robert to John Aaron or else
He's good.
he will ruin us all.
Yeah,
But and
like we don't know.
the other thing I saw on Lionel, Gomez Adams.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, I like that a lot, in part because of the dancing
Yeah,
and
the
like kind of his
Mamushka.
like outfit. Yeah, I was like yeah, exactly. Totally. Oh, I love that. Yeah, he seems a bit haunted like
Hmm.
Tyrion, and he also seems weighed down by the fact that he's smarter than everyone in the room. And he seems like a guy
Like
who,
Tyrion.
yeah, and is aware of the sort of trappings of his power and the fact that it means like not a lot of people can meet. He seems like a guy who has his entourage but is bummed that they can't really be themselves around him.
Yeah, that
Does
that
that make
no one
sense?
else would dare step on his foot back.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
one else
Which is,
gets the game.
and that's kind of the theme of sort of what Dunk brings to a lot of what Dunk and Egg story is a little bit about. Like you can trust Dunk because Dunk's whole value is like, listen, you just keep it simple and do what you say you're going to do, and that is something that is, I ironically, the richer and more powerful you get, those people are harder to find because when you are rich and you are powerful, you attract people who want those things. And it's really easy to say that you would be a tried and true person if you were serving someone like that, but we're humans. And when you get
Yeah.
placed in front of the power that comes with being associated with someone powerful,
Hmm.
people are not so,
And
people
then
are
why
very
are you here?
self-serving.
Supper.
And he's got his little donut.
I think again the only thing that we really texted each other about while we were watching was this tense scene and the well, someone should know to always bring a hostess gift.
Oh man. If you get invited, which this really was like a perfect first night festival. You roll up
Hmm.
to the festival, like your lodgings are barely there, but you got a place to put your stuff. You go in, you start meeting people, you get involved in some crazy chaos immediately, and then all of a sudden you're like backed into a VIP tent just because you're honest and sweet. Like this is the premise to a lot of, I don't know, drunk party movies. And it's tough, man, because like if you can hang in the VIP tent, it's pretty great, but it's also very intimidating and there's a lot of free booze and you gotta be careful if you're gonna dance with the host, man. It get you into a lot of trouble. Watch Get Him to the Greek.
Brought up high school drunken comedies, and all I was thinking was Robert doesn't know that Cersei and me do it in the crypt near John Aaron. I apologize.
That's okay. Yeah, so
We haven't
I
talked about
think
Egg much.
I gotta be honest and don't tell this child is adorable. I was more excited about the laughing storm. I'm excited to see their relationship grow, but
Yeah, I don't think we got a lot of
Dexter was not
Egg.
my favorite part of this. I'm excited to see him. When I was watching these scenes, I was imagining kind of what happens a little bit later in the season, and just because Egg is so precocious, and he's a kid though
Yeah,
he's not always precocious, and so I think those moments of tenderness are going to break my heart.
I also like. I'm a little more excited about seeing him next season.
Oh yeah,
When he's a little bit when the walls are down a little more. Not that he has walls because he's 6, but
I did enjoy about his character that he's very careful never to lie. Like he
yeah,
never. That's really cute.
yeah,
What do you think? Should we save the rest of it for our deep dive? Is there anything else
yeah,
that?
yeah. I think that a lot of the things that I want to say are spoilers, and so let's hold off for that. And
Mhm.
I want to do a reread, and it is so easy to reread those 18 pages.
118 pages.
No, I mean the 18 that were this episode.
Oh, fair. It's true. True, true, true. Also, this episode had me like really missing Yellow Jackets, what with the Antler King business
I
all
didn't watch
around.
it.
Um, oh man. Well, then for listeners that listen to this, enjoy those crossover fantasies because I don't know. I think Lion of the Laughing Storm would have been delighted to crash land with a bunch of crazy high school girls. I feel like he would have had them like building a society or something. Or they would have killed him too. I don't know. I really like those are I don't
Two
know, those are
things.
characters I'd like to see have dinner.
He
Would
could have
be
been
the Yellow Jackets
excited, and
girls.
they could have killed him.
And yeah, two things can be true. I don't know. I think that I would like to see at some point in my imagination or yeah, I don't know. I think they would have fun at dinner. Those characters, the Yellow Jackets girls and Light of the Laughing Storm would have a very interesting dinner.
I know enough
I'd
about
watch
Yellow
that.
Jackets to understand the double meaning of they would have fun at dinner.
You know what? I didn't even think of that. I totally forgot about that. Sorry, we're not going to spoil Yellow Jackets, but you know, ooh, that just seasons
Good,
that.
good work, Alexander August's subconscious.
Johnny Cold, please, couldn't do it without you. Couldn't do it without you.
Uh, yeah, so we will probably have the deep dive by Thursday, question
Wednesday?
mark?
Yeah, Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah. And in the meantime, let us know what you think. Let us know where you're finding this podcast now, as it's been a while.
Yeah.
So hit us up on TikTok now. We are now on TikTok.
Yep. You can find us at got_thrones on TikTok. We post clips from the episodes and other
Yeah.
random
Instagram.
stuff. And then same with
And
Instagram. We are just at got thrones on Instagram, no underscore. And then we're also on YouTube if you get stuff there. We have everything we're kind of releasing across those three platforms at the moment. So we'd love to hear from you and we
yeah.
will continue to repeat this information.
Yeah. It's I am much more excited by this episode than I was by the premiere of Hot D, is my closing thought.
Yeah, I think, man, I remember distinctly feeling like I liked Hot D. It was so beautiful. Like I loved seeing the Targaryens kind of at the height of their power, and it's just kind of like pushing in that Targaryen like weird incest. I don't know. Like there was a
Yeah.
lot to really that was so well executed and so good. But at the same time, at the time, I remember watching it, I was just like, I'm so tired.
Yeah.
This is so intense.
It-
It's so
Did the
intense.
did the feet
I'm
stuff
so tired.
happen in episode 1?
Oh, I don't remember the feet stuff.
Whoever the I'm going to be really un PC, the clubfoot with the foot fetish.
I honestly don't remember. Everyone's such a
Oh.
sexual deviant on these shows, like except for Oberyn Martell.
Yeah. Nah, he's just a sexual. Yes.
He's just a sexual.
Yeah. Thank you, Pedro Pascal.
I love you.
Yeah, so we'll discuss this more in a couple days, and in the meantime, let us know what you thought.
Please do. Please do.
Bye, folks.